Hello, everyone. Well, another low pressure system is going to be working over us today and tomorrow, and Iowa is going to be right on that rain snow line. So that means a lot more snow for some than others. So let's track all the activity today through tomorrow. And 8 a.m. this morning, this is the calm before storm. Got to mention the chance for some isolated snow showers across the southwestern half of the state, but I do think most of us are going to have a dry morning commute. But as we go through the day, activity is going to be filling in across the state. Let's jump ahead now to 11 a.m. and notice no longer isolated activity in the southwestern half of the state, but scattered activity. And here we go, talking about snow, sleet, freezing rain and rain. We'll probably be seeing all of that, particularly it looks like late this morning through the mid-afternoon hours. The blue is the snow, the green is all rain, and in that purple, that's where there could be some freezing rain and sleet. And notice that expands to more locations as we get to 2 o'clock. And notice in general the activity slowly spreading to the north and east. So places in the northeastern corner of the state will be the last to get in on the wintry mix. And look how messy it's going to be at 2 o'clock with the snow, freezing rain, sleet, rain. But notice farther to the east, more likely to be rain. Farther to the west, more likely to be all snow. What we're also going to see as this precipitation spreads to the north and east, breezy conditions. So we're going to see the breezy conditions start in the southwestern part of the state and then spread to the north and east. So for most during the afternoon hours, we're looking at gusts 20, 25 miles per hour. And then I tell you what, I think the most widespread activity across Iowa is going to be late this afternoon through the early evening hours. Now, also worth noting, here we are at 5 o'clock, and notice how that area of freezing rain and sleet, the purple, starts to disappear. It looks like the rain-snow line is going to get quite thin. That's going to result in a very tight gradient of snowfall amounts, because it looks like we're going to go away from that wintry mix of just a plain old rain snow line. But also worth noting, during the late afternoon, early evening hours, you see those shades of orange showing up, particularly in the southern half of the state, where it's going to be all rain. We're talking about some thunderstorms, not severe storms, but heavy rain and lightning in a few spots. That is a possibility, particularly it looks like in the southeastern corner of the state. So this is 5 o'clock, and again, also worth noting, see those dark shades of blue, that's heavy snow coming down. So the vast majority of stuff, maybe a few in the northeastern corner of the state, are going to be dealing with at least rain, maybe some thunderstorms for the homebound commute, or heavy snow. So yeah, it is going to be a mess. And here's 8 o'clock and not much improvement. Look at that thin rain snow line, with some getting a lot of snow and others just getting plain old rain. Now, once we get through the early evening hours, I do think we're going to see activity gradually back off, it looks like, from south to north. So check out 11 o'clock this evening. Activity really focused across the northern half of the state. That's where there still could be some pockets of heavy snow, but in the southern half of the state, starting to dry out. And then as we go through the overnight hours, I think the intensity in the snow, even in the northern part of the state, is really going to be backing off. So by the time we get to 7 a.m. tomorrow morning, we're just talking about light to moderate snow, no more heavy snow in the state. But notice for some, it's still not snow. It's still rain. Burlington, and probably still even in the Quad Cities. Look at the difference in temperatures, by the way. 26 in Sioux City at 7 a.m. tomorrow, but 37 in Davenport. Still breezy tomorrow morning. Again, once it gets breezy this afternoon, it's just going to be staying breezy. So when are we finally going to see in the eastern part of the state it change over to snow? Well, it's looking like finally in and around the Quad Cities, maybe about 11 a.m. tomorrow morning, we'll finally see the rain change over to snow. Meanwhile, look what's happening in the central and western part of the state. The snow coming to an end by the late morning hours. So now let's take a look at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. By 3 o'clock, it's really looking like just isolated snow showers, mainly in the eastern half of the state. Early evening hours, I'm going to leave in the chance for some flurries, still mainly, at this point, probably limited to the eastern half of the state. And I do think by 11 o'clock tomorrow evening, that'll be it for the snow. So after all of that, how much snow are we talking about? Well, with that wintry mix and some places staying rain the whole time, look at the crazy snowfall gradient from west to east across the state. So especially in the southeastern corner of the state, that's going to be where the smallest snow totals are. I mean, we're talking about dusting inch in the southeastern corner of the state. I'll go up as much as 2 inches for the Quad Cities, but I also want to leave the possibility in there for maybe just a dusting in the Quad Cities. If the snow overachieves, depending on how quickly we make the transition tomorrow to snow, maybe up to 2 inches, and probably a little more likely if that's going to be just to the west of the Quad Cities. But then you go to Waterloo, and we're talking about 3 to 5 inches. Mason City, 4 to 6 inches. Fort Dodge, 5 to 7. Denison, 6 to 8. And then look at Sioux City. By the time it all comes to an end across the state tomorrow evening, we're talking about 8 to 10 inches of snow in and around the Sioux City area.